I'm sorry. I know it's been a couple of days since I've done a video. I was traveling from Georgia up to Montana. And it's late now, and I wanted to make sure I got a video out there because I hadn't done one in a couple of days. So the good news is today was July 8th, and that is the last day of my classes for summer 1 session. And it looks like I finished that stupid environmental class. It looks like I finished it, and I might be really close to an A. I'll let you know in a few days after she grades everything, but right now I'm at a 93, so I'm kind of on the borderline. My world civilization class looks like it's a B for sure. I already did all the classes for that. On Monday, so in 2 or 3 days, I start English and I start government, 2 classes that I've put off for a year and a half. They're extremely basic, but they are going to try me and test me. So the reasons that I haven't been video blogging, at least, is because I drove up from Georgia to Bozeman, Montana, and I don't know if I mentioned it before, but Bozeman, Montana is kind of where I consider one of the places I grew up. We moved here when I was a kid, 6th grade, so I have a lot of long-standing friends here, and I love them to the moon and back, and I don't know, it is kind of a home to me for sure. It also houses one of the universities that I would love to go to, which is Montana State University. And while I've applied to some other universities, Montana State still resonates a little with me in my heart. It'd be kind of cool to graduate as a Bobcat. I don't know if I can afford to make that happen, but I mention it just because the whole point of all of this is to include you in my journey. So back in 1984, I did go to Montana State for like 1 semester, and I failed 2 classes, and now I've paid for that on my school resume. But the good news is Montana State, because back in the day I applied, I can go. And all you have to do is file some form that says you intend to register. So it's sort of an interesting situation. But really the whole point of this video was just to let you know that I'm still here and alive. And, you know, today was the last day of summer session 1, and I've done a good job, and I'll let you know how that worked out. But more importantly than that, it's about your friends and your connections. Today was the first day. I've been here, I think, 4 days, and today was the first day that I spent some time with a friend of mine that I hadn't seen since last year, because I come once a year to visit my people. And it just reminded me how much friends and family and support is so important. My couple of days here have really reminded me that when you have something you really want to do, the people around you that love you will help you. They may not have the money to write a check or help you that way, but they'll give you a place to live. They'll take care of your dog. They'll laugh with you about old times and look forward to the future. And since I've been off the grid for a couple of days, I wanted to make sure that I put a video that y'all knew that I was still here. And the other thing is, I heard from a friend of mine on Facebook, a smart woman. She worked for me first, and then she took over my job, and she didn't always like me very much, but I think, she made a comment about me being in school, and she commented about going back to school, and it was just another inspiration for a woman that I know that is over 30, fly higher after 30, another woman over 30 that's going back to school. And how amazing is that? That we're still all in this together, that in the last couple of weeks, not only have I run across women that I went to school with that are going back to school or that went back to school, but now women that worked for me. Here's a woman that worked for me that took my job when I left and went and did something else. She's younger than I am. And she's brilliant, and she's smart, and she's beautiful. And she has a toddler at home now, by the way. And I can't even imagine going back to school for a bachelor's or a master's or whatever you're going back to school for, and having a 2 to 3 year old toddler in your house. I mean, I didn't know how to do that when my son was a toddler. So I'm in awe of that. And she was asking me about study habits. Quite frankly, I don't have any. I was so much in awe of her doing it that I didn't even have advice yet. So if you have some advice, please answer the video and message and say, this is how I made studying work with a toddler and a husband, because in my world, I'm single and a grown son and going back to school. But in her world, she has a toddler and she has a husband and she's still working full time and figuring it out. And I'm in awe of that. And so if we can give her some advice, that would be absolutely wonderful. So let's give her some advice. Casey deserves to get our advice. So if you have some, please share it. So as I always like to say, we can do it. You, me, all of us, we're in it together. And I support you. And thank you for forgiving me for not posting for 4 days. But it's been a challenge. But I am back home. And I'm visiting and hanging out with my people. And as soon as I know those grades on those crazy classes that I've been complaining about in every single video, I will let you know. So, have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.